Hey guys, thanks for joining me for a Honkai Star Rail video, and today we're going to do a character guide on March 7th. If you're new to my channel, previously my channel has been Dokkan Battle and Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia, but Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia has reached end of service, so I am exploring doing a little bit more content on Honkai Star Rail, which is a game I've been playing dedicatedly since day one. So let me know if you're new to the channel, if you like this format of video, and if you find this video useful. And also for those of you that have been followers of my channel, let me know if you find this guide useful if you play Star Rail. So what we're going to do in this video, the goal of my character guides, by the way, is I know other content creators make guides on characters. My goal with my guides are just to make them very simple and explain basically what the character does, give you the best information for their kits, and then just do a quick little showcase and show what the character can do. So in this video, we're going to go over March 7th, and we're going to look at, and the reason I'm doing March 7th as my first one is she's just my favorite character. I love her. I think she's awesome. So we're going to go through her relics. We're going to go through her best light cones. And we're going to talk about like her best builds in terms of what stats you want to give her on the relics or try to shoot for. And then we're just going to do a showcase and kind of explain her kit, right? So let's go ahead and we're just going to start by talking about March's kit and what exactly she does. So she is an ice preservation unit. Preservation units typically are very tanky or have to do with shielding and things like that. And I love March 7th because she is basically a shield counter tank type of character, which is the type of character I like. She puts shields on your characters that are big and meaty. She will counterattack anytime a shielded character gets hit, which I think is very cool, and she's got a little bit of debuffing with her ability to freeze enemies, right? So she just has a normal basic attack, scales on her attack, nothing too big there. Her normal skill, I think, is like the really big part of her kit. Essentially what she does is she applies a shield to a single ally, and it could be herself, and it does scale off of her defense. So when you guys are looking to build characters in Star Rail, if you want to try to figure out builds for yourself, really look, I would go into the ability page here and look at what stats their skills scale off of. That usually is a very good hint as to how to build a character. So defense is a very important stat for March, not only because it's going to make her shields meatier, but because she's going to be drawing in a lot of attacks herself, and you want her to tank for the team, right? Her ultimate basically deals ice damage that does scale off of her attack. It does have a chance to freeze the enemies. And then when enemies are frozen, just in general, it tells you that they will unfreeze and then take some damage. It's kind of like a trap or like a debuff effect, right? But it basically, her ultimate, the way I think of it, it just does a solid amount of damage and it freezes the enemy. Really what her ultimate is good for, it's good for disruption. And just so you guys know, I don't see March as like a damage dealer type of character. So while she does have parts of her kit that scale on attack, I really wouldn't focus on it. Really, her role is the shielding and the defense, and that's what I would focus on. I would say any damage you get out of her is just kind of a bonus, right? Her technique, this is her skill that she uses on the map. So she is a ranged attacker on the map. She will basically hit the enemy from a distance and she will just apply freeze to them, which is really good. So it's just a way to jump into a fight, get a quick freeze down, get a little bit of disruption, right? And then her talent is basically the counterattacking. So anytime a shielded ally is attacked, she will counterattack. Now, what's cool about this is the shields don't have to come from March. They could be shields from other characters. They could be shields from, if you're playing other modes where you could just get shields for free, right? So when we're talking about, oh gosh, I'm drawing a blank on it already. Hold on, just give me a second here. If we go into here, the simulated universe, that's what I'm thinking about. When you go into the simulated universe, if you choose, for example, Path of Preservation, a lot of those skills that you get in there will just inherently give you shields, which is really, really, really nice, right? So that's basically what her kit does. So let's go about, how should you build her? So let's start by looking at her traces here. Now, I know a lot of people will do recommendations for like how far should you go on the traces and things like that. For me, I'm just an all-in type of player, so I max out every character all the way. I don't mind putting in the resources. Obviously with March, you really like her base attack is really low priority, and her shields are going to be her highest priority. And obviously the talent's going to be up there as well. But yeah, you just anything that's focusing on her shields and all of the outer stuff, you really want to make sure you get her defense. I think all the outer things are all really worth going in on, right? Okay, so let's go ahead and look at her relics here. So to me, her best set is the Knight of Purity Palace. So it's, this symbol right here. Basically, this increases defense, which once again, I feel like is her best stat. Her shields are going to scale off of it. The meatier you can make her shields, the better, right? So that's what I go with there. And then on the ornaments here, so these are the ones you get in Simulated Universe. I think there's 3 that you could go with. You could go with this one, which is the defense one, which that's what I'm favoring. For those of you that watch my DFFOO stuff, right? If a character has a certain thing that they do, I like to really lean into that rather than try to spread them out and do different things. So I feel like I just want to go all in on defense with March, get the biggest media shields I can. But you could also go Fleet of the Ageless, which is going to be like an HP one. HP is nice on March because she is going to be getting hit a lot, and making her tankier does help. You could also go with the energy regen one. I think it's called Sprightly Von Whack or something like that. But energy regen, any type of like supporters type character can be good on, because it's going to help get her ultimate quicker. But with March, I would say the ultimate isn't like the most important part of her kit. So I really, once again, I would go the Belobog of the Architects here, because this is what really gives her the defense and really leans into the best part of her kit. So that's kind of what I chose to go with there. While you're building these relics, what you kind of want to focus on, so if we look at, say, the body slot, so we'll go to the body slot here, you can see I did go defense percentage. Like, that's, to me, once again, that's what I want to lean into. I think another good stat on March, though, is effect hit rate. So if you're not familiar with what that is, any characters that do debuffing, typically this is like Nihility characters. I don't know if I pronounced that right, or Nihility, the debuff characters, right? This affects how often your debuffs actually hit. And March does have freeze in her kit, so effect hit rate will help the freeze hit more often. So if you feel like you're struggling to get those freezes off and you want to increase effect hit rate, that's a stat you could definitely go for. But for me, defense is really the king, right? Now on the feet, I kind of went crazy. Like for me, like I did go defense percentage again, but I think a lot of players would recommend speed. When in doubt, you guys, on the feet, speed is a good stat on most characters, because it makes you act more, and acting more is a good thing. The less turns the enemies get, the better. So I think speed or defense are pretty good that you could do there, right? And then on the sphere and the rope, the sphere, I would go defense, and once again, I found defense percent there. And then on the rope, I did do defense again, but you could do energy regen rate, right? I think effect hit rate on some of these could be fine as well. It's going to be kind of up to you, but you can see my March build is 100 million% all in defense. I went defense percent on like everything, so I kind of went a little bit crazy there, right? In terms of light cone, I have actually been very fortunate on the light cone front. Not only do I have her best light cone, I have it at superimposed 3. So this is Moment of Victory. This is the Japard light cone. It's kind of crazy that I have this at superimposition 3, because it's not a light cone that's featured anywhere. I've literally just gotten this randomly while pulling on banners, and it's just hit a few times for me. So I'm very fortunate to have a really top tier light cone for her. But this is a defense and effect hit rate, which are both really good stats for March, because you want defense for the meaty shields, and you're getting effect hit rate to help the freezing, right? Now, I would say if you don't have this, some other good options are day one of My New Life, and then This Is Me. Those are the 2 4-stars I would go with, because they're both defense percent light cones. I think that's really the way you want to go there. If you're really desperate and don't have any defense light cones, you could go, there's a 3-star one called Amber you could put on, if you're really desperate just to get one, right? But anyways, yeah, that's kind of the build there, and what I'm going for. And then in terms of our Idolons, I mean, for me, 4-star characters, I do aim to get them E6, and my March is E6. So just to cover what she gets with each one. So this one is when she freezes. So her first Idolon is when she freezes, she regenerates energy, which is awesome. Helps her get her ultimate up, right? Her second one is upon entering battle, she just gets a shield like at the start of turn, which is really good. You just open with a shield. So I'd say her E2 is actually pretty good. E3 is just level ups on her skills, which characters all get. Level 4 is the talent's counter effect can be triggered one more time in each turn. The damage dealt by the counter increases. So it just helps her, it helps her counter damage. And this is actually really important for her counter damage, because normally her counter damage just scales off of her attack, which is really a stat you're not focusing on with her. But this helps the counter damage scale off of defense now. So for someone like me that's gone all in on defense, this vastly improves the counter damage. At level 5, she just gets more stats. And then level 6 is, this is actually really good. Her E6 is kind of crazy. It basically makes it so that allies that have her shield on actually regen some health. Now, I don't think March is going to qualify as your primary healer with this. It's going to be a very slow overtime heal, but for team builds where you don't want to run a healer and you want to try to just rely on her shield, it is nice that you have a way to heal some HP back. So I definitely think that there is some use to that there. So yeah, having her at E6 is definitely a good idea if you can do it. Once again, with I think 4-star characters, it is realistic to get these characters at E6 for sure. All right, so with that, and sorry guys, this is my first time doing the guide, so I'm getting used to the format, but I think I've covered everything I wanted to cover there. The one thing that I want to note from her trace that she gets that's really important is down here. One of her bonus abilities is called Purify, which this is, I think, the other thing that makes March actually quite a valuable asset, is that being able to cleanse debuffs is really important in this game. If you face some of these tough bosses, I'll bring out Kafka. Kafka's like the boss that really comes to mind for me as like a really annoying boss to fight with a ton of debuffs. You almost need to have this type of skill. So this makes it so that when March applies a shield to somebody, it actually cleanses the debuff off of them. So her Purify bonus ability here is very good. So it's not mentioned in her main kit. You have to see it there on the traces, but very, very good. All right, so with that, let's hop into a showcase. What I think I'm going to do for the showcase is I'm just going to hop into like an Echo of War boss fight, just so that we can see the character. So let's go ahead and hop in. And this is going to be the team build I'm going to run. I'm going to do kind of like a hyper carry build in a sense where like Sela is my main attacking unit. Clara, I would say, is like my sub damage dealer here, but I want to show off March with Clara because I feel like they have a lot of synergy together, right? So a little background on Clara, if you're not familiar. Clara is basically a counter tank type of character as well. And between March and Clara, they have effects that will naturally draw attacks to them. By applying March's shield to Clara, it will really draw the attacks to Clara, and then Clara is going to be countering a lot. And the thing that's really awesome is when March's shields are on, like any of my teammates that get attacked, right? March will counter. So if you put shields on Clara, you will get double counters because Clara is going to counter from her effect and March is going to counter. So this is almost like a counter damage like defense comp with Sela there to deal some damage. That's kind of what this team comp is. So let's go ahead and hop in. We'll just do this Echo of War fight here and see. So we open with the March skill, so we'll just pop it right away. So you're going to see March just immediately getting counters because Clara started with the shield and that came from March. So March opened with the shield, Clara happened to get hit. We got the double counters there. So March is going to go ahead and she is going to open up with her attack. Okay, and we didn't get the freeze there, which is unfortunate. That's where like effect hit rate can come in. And the other thing you have to keep in mind is some enemies will just flat out resist the freeze also. So let's see, Sela, we'll just do some attacking up on the arms here. So all right, here we go with March. So typically what I like to do, and you can see Sela's already taken a bunch of damage. In this particular team comp, what I usually like to do is get a shield on Clara right away. She's already got one, so we're going to go ahead and put one on Sela. March, my priority with her is protecting my main damage dealer, because they're the ones that if they die, it really kind of cripples the fight, right? And then with Bailu here, I think I will use a skill to heal her up just to make sure. Perfect. And then Clara will just do single target, and that'll give us some skill points back. Oh, we did get a freeze. Good. The left hand did take a freeze, which is nice. The one thing too, for those of you that are maybe newer to the game or don't understand all the mechanics, if an element has like a debuff with it, so for example, you know, ice has freeze is just kind of like the default debuff that comes with it. If you break an enemy with that element, you will get the debuff. So like that left arm, which is weak to ice, if we break that with an ice attack, it will freeze, which you just saw right there. March actually did it on a counter. So she countered it, broke it, and then the freeze is applied. So we get that nice disruption here. Now here's a really great instance of March coming through. Notice Sela on the left. She's got a full shield. So ideally I'd like to shield somebody else, but Sela's got a debuff on. So now I can just shield Sela, and we're going to heal that up. And that comes from that Purify. That's so clutch, so important to have, right? Okay, Clara's going to use her skill. If you're unfamiliar, her skill now is going to give her a very powerful counter for her next two counters. And she gets more damage reduction while she has this up. I could do an AoE there, but I need the skill use. So now we get attacked. And unfortunately, March didn't have a shield on, so she will not counter, but we got the Clara counter there. The next opportunity I get, I will try to get March kind of shielded up. We'll go ahead and do the special here with Sela. And then you can see Clara's, when she's powered up, she gets like big AoE counters too, which is very nice. So yeah, guys, at the end of this video, you guys can let me know in the comments if you like this character guide, if you found it useful. And then if so, I'm going to try to put out more character guides just on characters I have built. And we'll see how the videos do. Depending on how they do, we may keep this going. All right, I only have one skill use, but we got to get Clara shielded back up. So there we go. And then we got March's ultimate, so we'll hit that. We'll go ahead and lay the freeze down if we can. We did not get it. Okay, and then Clara, I mean, I could AoE, but we need the skill use. And I don't know that I have to finish the whole fight. I mean, I think you get the idea, right? So we countered for 3k. Like, you can see March's damage isn't that crazy. But it's kind of similar to DFFOO, which is the other game that I played, that these counter characters, they don't deal a lot of damage every hit, but they can deal a lot of damage over the course of the fight, because once again, there's another swing, March is popping in more damage. What I like about March in particular with the counters isn't even necessarily, hey, let's watch this. We'll shield Bailu, we'll heal Bailu back, and give Bailu a shield. And you can see how meaty these shields are, right? Like, these shields are like full gauge. Like, my characters now are all very tanky, which is very, very nice. So sure, let's go ahead over here, do my bonus attack, and then we'll go ahead and swing again. So what I like about March's shields is she does have the tankiest shields in the game, in my opinion. It's just that it hits one character at a time. But yeah, like with the counter, so what I think what I was, the thought I was trying to say here is what I like about March's counters isn't necessarily that they deal damage, but it's that they can break off turn. So I like the idea that we can off turn break, just like Clara did right there, which I really like. Now in this phase here, we just do normal attacks because you get like the guaranteed knockout here, so we can just build up our skill points. So we'll go ahead and do that. Take our time, and actually I'm going to pop this Bailu heal, so that can be kind of like regaining energy as we're taking these easy turns. Sure, and then we'll just do that and pop into the next phase. But yeah, I don't know that I'm going to finish the fight all the way out. I guess we might as well, right? We might as well. It's my first character guide. Sure, we'll let it go. We'll see, you know, look how we're going to tank this, by the way. So, like, Sela took a little bit of damage, but, like, we fully shielded that out, and my team is very healthy. So, this is kind of just a team comp I favored in the game, is I favored preservation units. I favored running. I like teams that feel very safe. And it might take me a little bit longer to do the fight, right? I have another team comp I run with Jinglu that I'll probably feature in another video. That is way more offensively based, but you are at risk of dying, like a lot more than a team like this is. And for Simulated Universe, I'm kind of thinking I might want to do some Simulated Universe videos to show you my strat for that. But my two strats for Simulated Universe that I like to do is I like to do either Preservation Path with like March or something like that and just be really safe. Or what I really like to do is Remembrance Path, because I use Jinglu, and it's a very like heavy freeze type of setup that just makes you feel safe because you keep freezing and disrupting, right? All right, so we'll get Clara's ultimate on. And then once again, March, you can see how important the cleansing is, right? March is going to cleanse there, reapply the shield. Sela's feeling pretty good right now. And we've got the really big attack coming here, so it is really nice to have that as well. Let's go ahead and hit this. It's really nice to have March. The other reason that March is really good, right, is because a lot of enemies will do like targeted attacks where they'll put the target over your characters, and they teach you this very early in the game because March is kind of like a tutorial character. Just be aware, you guys, just because March is like a freebie like intro character, she is not bad. She's very good. I like March a lot, and I would say the thing with Star Rail, which is similar to Genshin, is any character can be good if you build them. If you take the time to build them and invest in them, I think any character can be good, and March is no exception. I think she's a fine character. I do really like her. So I like the idea that if an enemy like that blew off a really big attack, the shields completely kept us safe there, right? Whereas in other team comps, it's almost like, ooh, we're taking a bunch of damage. I'm maybe needing Bailu's revive or something. It's nice that I just don't have to worry about doing that. I'm going to take a normal here. And then we got ultimate lined up. We'll do this. I think we got this fight just about wrapped up, actually. So that actually didn't take too long. Okay. Clara will just do a normal here. Perfect. And then Bailu will swing on. All right. And then we got some skills to use. There we go. And then that's going to be the fight, essentially, because now this is just free damage. So we'll just do a big skill, finish them off. So anyways, guys, there you go. There's my character guide on March. Hopefully I broke her down for you, made it pretty simple. Let me know what you think of March. Let me know if you're liking this, if you'd like to see more of these, if you'd like to see more Star Rail content. I really need to know, because as a content creator right now, I am deciding, do I really want to go heavy on Star Rail? Because kind of where I'm at right now is I'm a Dokkan channel. I was Dokkan and DFFOO, right? But DFFOO was end of service. So what I'm trying to choose right now is, do I want to just be only Dokkan and go really heavy there? Or do I want to make Star Rail my replacement for DFFOO? So if you feel like I should continue Star Rail a little bit more based on this video, let me know. I am for sure going to put out at least a few more videos to kind of test the waters. And if I feel like people are liking it and I'm enjoying it, we'll definitely keep moving forward. So let me know what you guys think. Thanks for watching. We'll catch y'all on the next one.